Hello. So I thought I would post a video. You'll notice there's probably themes in my videos if you go back through them. I come back to a lot of the same themes because, like anything, life is one big old practice. Quite often we go back over the same things, coming at it from different angles. We always need to be reminded of things. That's why when you teach yoga or when you're in a yoga class, you'll hear the same things being said over and over again in different ways. Like to remember to breathe, to remember to soften your shoulders, relax your jaw. Because being told once doesn't mean you're like, oh yeah, I've got it. I'll do that forever now. And so today I was thinking about, this week I've been thinking a lot about expectations. So we've all got expectations about life, about yoga, about all kinds of things. And what I've really noticed recently is in classes, because everything's online and you're practicing at home, like your expectations have to change. Quite amusing. My expectations for teaching have had to change. I'm sharing a house with my parents, and the other day I was teaching and my dad walked up the stairs and burped. Loudest burp I've ever heard. He forgot I was teaching. I'm really lucky that I'm able to edit things out when I post the recordings to clients and things like that, but really made me laugh. And I thought, well, that's the experience I'm having right now, and I just live with my parents. What's the experience that people are having? You've got children at home, partners, maybe living with their parents, animals, noises around them they're not used to. If you live in a flat, noise above you, noise below you. And it got me thinking about what must it be like for your home practice. I mean, I've been practicing at home for a while, so I'm kind of used to the fact that in class, in a studio, it's very different to when I'm at home. And I realised that people have a bit of a perception of how you should do a yoga class. So first of all, you need to have fancy yoga pants, you need to have a fancy yoga mat, everything has to be silent, no noise, definitely no noise, no children around, no animals around, definitely no parents or partners around. And then I thought about how Instagram does paint an interesting picture of yoga quite often. It does a bit of a disservice. And the truth is, when it comes down to it, I'm sure some people's practice is like that at home, but my practice consists of whatever I'm wearing. I've just done yoga, I'm wearing a coat and some joggers, I've got my slippers on, outside on an old skanky yoga mat. I don't even have a fancy yoga mat, and I'm a yoga teacher. Sometimes I don't even practice on a mat. Most of the time there's noise around me. Sometimes the dog, when I used to have a dog, she did die, but that's cheerful, wasn't it? When she was around, she'd come and she'd bother me and she'd get in my way. And I realised that over time of practicing at home, that when I had the expectations it had to be quiet and I must clear my mind and I must do this, that I just never enjoyed it, and it was no fun, and there was so much pressure and so much stress. And the whole idea, particularly at the moment, of people doing yoga is to just relax a little, soften a little bit. And I wondered how many people there were out there who weren't doing yoga or joining an online class because they didn't have a mat, or because their kids around, or because their dog or their cat kept jumping on their back or sniffing them, or because their next door neighbour just wouldn't stop banging around in their building, or whatever it was. And so I kind of wanted to just remind you all that even when all of this goes back to normal life, whatever that is, your expectations, it's okay to lower them or let go of them when it comes to your practice, when it comes to yoga, when it comes to a lot of what's going on at the moment. It's okay if you show up to the mat, or not even a mat, and your mat is a rug or a towel, and you're in your pyjamas and the kids are around you. I've loved seeing all the videos and pictures of people who've been practicing with their animals, and their dogs, their cats, their children getting involved. It's been really lovely, and it just made me think how it really helps us to just chill out a little bit and stop worrying about whether the room is quiet enough, or whether you've got the right incense, or whether the ambiance is right. Sometimes it is nice to make it all fancy and make it quiet, but sometimes you can't you can't account for what's going to happen. You can't account for the fact that your dad's going to walk up the stairs and forget that you're teaching yoga and do the loudest burp I've ever heard. Like, these things happen. It's just the reality. We're not perfect, and the situation we're in isn't perfect. So if you've been put off by the idea that you don't have a mat, you don't have fancy yoga pants, or any of these things, that you don't think your body's flexible enough, or anything that's stopping you from showing up to a class, you know, you can have your camera off, right? So I'm using Zoom, and some people keep their cameras on so I can see you. You can have it off if you want. You can not even talk to me. You can just message me in the chat box, or do none of those things. You can just show up and do your own thing. There is no expectation. There's no pressure. So please, do lower your expectations, in a good way. You know, it should feel, when you have expectations, it feels sometimes like they're being restricted. You want to feel like your freedom to breathe, your freedom to just show up how you are, in whatever way you are. My yoga teacher, my coach, said to me the other day, I was having a bad day and I was crying, and she said, come to yoga, bring your tears. And she's right. Bring everything, all of you, whatever state you're in, doesn't matter. So if you're thinking about it and you're not sure, put me a message. If you want to come to a class, let me know. I've still got lots of stuff going on for all kinds of people, all kinds of bodies, whatever you need on whatever day, just pop me a message. And if you are out of work or you've lost your income, get in touch as well. There's options for everyone, and I mean everyone. So I hope you have a good day, and remember to lower your expectations.